Now we move to something called Windows Desktop Basics. These things you will know from before. So this is a typical file system that we have. This is takes apart like C, users, name, and documents. In Windows, file extensions are very important. They are used to identify the programs using which these files will open. So whenever you will install a new application, normally your system will ask you to configure the default application for it. We can always see show hidden files from the view tab in our file explorer. We have got all these navigation tools available like File Explorer, Quick Access, Address Bar. So using all these, we can navigate to different files. Everything is graphical, so you have to double click on the folder to enter it and then move out of it and so on. There are many shortcuts available in Windows also. So like Windows plus E will open a file explorer, Alt plus up will go to the parent folder. So as you become more experienced person, and if you are using Windows a lot, then you might want to develop your competency or skills in these shortcuts because they will make your life much easier. Otherwise, you will have to use mouse. So using mouse actually slows you down, okay? Because you have to move your hand from your typewriter and you have to click somewhere. If you are good with the shortcuts, then you can work in a very fast manner. System monitoring, I think these things you will always know that whenever our system is performing slow, we can right click and open a task manager. Task manager shows us the processes and which process is consuming how much CPU, memory, etc. Under the performance tab, you can even monitor overall performance of your system. Set like live graphs are there. So which thing is consuming more CPU, you can find out from there, and you can even identify high resource tasks and actually end unresponsive tasks, right? That we do not normally. So I hope you have used this task manager before in your life, right?
Yes, sir.
What about you, Aman?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So again, this we have already seen that we use command prompt even in Windows. Although Windows is meant to be graphically used, we still have command prompt. It helps us to do a lot of things also. And we can also run different commands using this command prompt. ipconfig will show you the IP address of your machine. ipconfig release and renew will refresh your IP address. Ping can test connectivity, tracer to trace the packet route, netstat to view the open ports, and so on. It's a very lightweight tool. Actually, you can use command prompt to do a lot of things, okay? Which are normally not available to all of us. We normally rely on our graphical user interface. But if you will explore more and you want to study more, a lot of things you can do from the Windows command prompt as well. One important concept that you all have to understand is the concept of firewall. So in Windows, you have an inbuilt firewall called Windows Defender Firewall. Firewall allows you to block the network traffic, the both incoming and outgoing. Normally, we use the firewall to block the incoming traffic, so people cannot hack our machines. But we can also block the outgoing traffic. If you want to configure your Windows firewall, you can simply write Windows Defender Firewall in your search box. It will open this kind of a window. And if you are admin, you can configure the hardware rules. Even from the command line, we can actually configure these rules, but it is not essential to learn the command line. Okay. If you have configured your firewall well, your system will be more secure. Another aspect of Windows operating system are the antivirus. We all have antivirus on our systems. They are essential to protect against malware, unauthorized access, and fraudulent websites. Now, why this topic is more important for us, we are not going to become a desktop support engineer. We are not here to become that. But at times when we are working on applications and troubleshooting the applications, these firewalls and antivirus can conflict with our applications. They have some, so suppose our application works on 443 port and someone has blocked that port on the firewall. So we will face problems. So we must know how to do a basic navigation in these, basic check in these, so that we can overcome those kind of problems. Because those are most difficult to solve. Because something has happened in the system and no one has told us and no one is aware of it. So normally what happens is that someone comes and configures a firewall or a gateway or an antivirus, and then he forgets it. Or he configures it incorrectly, in which cases these problems can happen. Uh, Installing a software. So we install a software using, so this diagram is not relevant for this. Okay, so installing a software, you all would have done this on your Windows machines a lot. We use ex, so we simply we download a exe file and we simply double click on it. There is one more way of installing a using MSI files. So these are also similar methods. You just double click on that, a wizard will open and you will be able to install. Normally, it can ask you for administrator permissions whenever you install an applications. Usually, our files and program files go in these kind of paths in C.program files. Basically, the name is same. I don't know why it is written the same. You can check in the /%temp folder for your installer logs. Application specific logs are also available in this particular folder. In case something goes wrong, but normally it doesn't. It is a very robust system that they have developed. So this is how you do it. But not only the installing is not enough. You have to also manage your software. So once installed, if you want to install your software, you can open this particular application that is called managing apps or apps and features. You will go there, click on a software, and you can simply uninstall it from there if you want. If you want to modify it, you want to modify. There is also a concept of default apps and startup apps. Okay, so let me just show that to you. So you will simply open your system settings and you go to default, this particular section. So default apps means which apps are used by which files by default, right? So I can ask for, I can just, so for photo viewer, I don't have any default app, right? So I can click over here and it will open this and I can say that, okay, I want this to be my default app. I don't know, my system is slow a bit, so it has done it, I think. Okay, so this is that. So now whenever someone will have, I will have an image on my system, it will by default open with Microsoft Office Manager. Similarly, we have something called as startup apps. So the apps that start automatically when we start our system, right? So depending upon your need and conditions, you might want to choose or unchoose these apps. It is also one good technique to this startup apps is a good technique to make your system faster when you reboot it, right? So if you find too many apps are starting when you are booting the system, so what is actually happening is when you start your system, all these apps start coming up, which can make overall system boot process slow. So if you can choose only the limited apps over there, which are most essential, you will have a better performance at the boot up. One thing about remote access, so all of you are aware about AnyDesk. Anyone who is not aware about AnyDesk?
It's we are.
What about you, Aman?
Yes, sir, aware.
So the remote access is a very critical thing when you are working in a professional environment. Right now, also we are having a remote call. It is not a remote access actually. I cannot do any stuff on your system. You can only see my system and I can only see yours. But there are apps like AnyDesk in which you connect in a very similar manner. You create your login on AnyDesk. Both parties log in on AnyDesk and you share a number, a code, using which one party can actually take control of others party system. Now, this is why this is important is because otherwise, how will we troubleshoot anything for that matter, right? Everyone will have to travel everywhere, right? So that is not convenient. So these remote access tools help us to take access of other systems, help each other out, monitor what people are doing, train them, and so on. So if you are working from different offices which don't have a direct connections, you will use things like AnyDesk. But if you are working in offices where you are having direct connection between the two parties, means though both machines can connect over internet directly, then you can use things like RDP, which is Windows Remote Desktop. So basically, one Windows machine can take access of another Windows machine using RDP. If you are on Linux-based systems, you can use SSH. Then you have other tools like PuTTY, WinSCP, etc., which we will discuss during our networking. But idea
Yes, sir,
here is
PuTTY I am used in my previous company.
very good. So PuTTY is another tool that is of a similar nature. We will discuss that
Yes, sir.
when we discuss the networking part. Okay. So these tools are important to know. If you have worked on that, it is very good. If you have not, then we will try to showcase you those tools during the course of the program. Obviously, whenever you are working with remote apps, security is of paramount concern. You should not give access to anyone whom you have got full trust with. If you are in a company, then your trust doesn't matter. Company policies matter. So you must be aware about company policies and only then do it. And obviously, you have to always end the session after use. Try to hide your sensitive files so that people don't see it, don't access it. So all these things are important.